All right, welcome back to Campaigns for North Africa. I have everyone moved for the Italians. These units here with the arrow, they did a reaction movement, so they moved out of the hex that was actually here. So this unit here, 2nd Rifle Brigade, expended 10 breakdown points, but expended 5 CP for movement, so I can work on their fuel afterwards. But they're over here at a danger. This unit, 11 Haas, they were pinned by the air, so they weren't going anywhere. So they're gonna have a battle with Meleti, the division, and we also brought an artillery piece for them. The 4 CCNN black shirts got up to here. They expended, what was it, 26 breakdown points, but they were able to hold off and not break down. We expended 13 CP, so it's a lot of fuel. They have leg units in there, so those leg units, let me fix this. Those leg units are going to take a -3 cohesion hit because they went over their CP allowance of 10 by 3. So let me just make a note of that so I won't forget. So the 4th CCNN takes okay, I just want to make a note of that. The other black shirt, which I showed you guys before, they were able to capture a 9 tank from the Commonwealth. They had a breakdown of 16 and they expended 8 CP, so they're good. But everybody right now is in position up here in the north, or along the coast I should say. First Libya, 20 breakdown points, 10 CP for movement. 63rd broke down, I believe it was, I think it was a CV-33 tank. Oh, why don't we just do this? So Meleti lost 2 M11s, 62nd, 1 CV-33. 2nd Libya lost the CB to breakdown. The 63rd, another breakdown. And then I just wrote down, got a -3 cohesion hit. So these units up here, that's the 64th back here. They're moving up along to get up to this front line. The good thing is, on a continuous movement, we're within 2 hexes of an enemy unit, so these units here can move again, if so choose. These units are not. Let's see what happens with this combat, and we'll work it out. So we finished movement, we're gonna get into combat. They do not have any artillery, so we don't have to worry about artillery. We're gonna put our artillery in forward position. However, if these units had artillery, the Italians cannot combine artillery fire from different hexes. They can from the same hex. So anyway, 5th Libyan Regiment, they don't have any artillery with them. So let's see what Meleti has. I'm going to check their thing in the 11AR. Let's see what they have. So let me take you over here for a minute. So these are the guns They're unassigned guns. So that was the one. So 75, 27 guns, there was 3 of them. So if we look at this, it's at the end of the sheet. What did I say? 75, 27. They have a 6. Let me fix the screen for a minute. I think it's a little blurry. Hang on. I want to wipe it. Just want to wipe this down. Okay. Now I was saying before, the 75, 27 guns, I believe I said, there are 6. So we have 3 of them at 6, that's 18 barrage factors. And let's see, what else we have? Letty. Letty also has, that's part of their division 3, so that's 18 as well, so that's going to be 36. So 36 firepower so far. And then we got these 75-18 gun howitzers. Let's see what their firepower is. 75-18 gun howitzers. I see them at 6. So that's 12. So that's going to be 48. So we have 48 firepower. They're armor units, I believe. Just want to check what they're noted as. 1 RT. Right there. Oh, they're 11 Haas. 11 Haas. I guess they fall underneath armor. They have armor protection, but they don't tell us what they are. So maybe armor car. All right, so we have 48, I said. Divide that by 10. That becomes 4.8, rounded up to a 5. So we're going to drop down 5. And let's see what happens. What kind of terrain are they in? It's clear terrain. So since they both were forward position, we can join those guns together to give us a 5. We're here. Let me roll and see. 32 on a 5. It's a miss. So nothing happens, no effect. So, and there goes all those ammo points. For every gun that fires, it costs us 4 ammo points. Great, wonderful. So what did we have? We had 8 guns firing. So we spent 32 ammo points just to miss. All right, so let me write that down. Letty spent an AR Next up is going to be close assault. We can do armor, so it's actually I forgot what we call it. It's called anti-armor fire combat. Is that what it's called? Anti-armor fire. So let's see if Milady has any armor units in there. Might have. I'm not sure. I think they have an attachment, maybe. Yes, we have the M1139s. That's right, we lost 2 of them, so we have 5 of them in that with them. So we have 5. And these guys are considered armor as well. So what they're supposed to do, what both sides are supposed to do is we're supposed to allocate how many go to anti-armor fire and how many go to close assault. So you do them both now, and then we show the other opponent, okay, we're going to be firing with X amount of armor. And when you fire armor, you're firing at the hex. You're not firing at a unit. And so whatever units are in there will get hit. And then the opposing player would allocate those points to whichever armor they so choose. So the way this will be played out, let me do the Italians first. We have, like I said, 5 M11s, 39. I would say to myself, I'm going to put them all on anti-armor fire. So I would make a note. So we have 5 TOE of M1139. And they're on AT, anti-AT. And then I will set up my close assault. So I'm going to have my infantry come in from both these for close assault. So let's add up those. So we would do, and everybody is 5s. So that's 5, 10, 15. There's one guy was left behind from last time. Which one was that? Okay, so we got 5, 10. And then these guys are 5, 10 as well. And we have the ZZs, which are 5 as well, 5, 10, 15. Well, they're pretty, they're pretty weak. So I have my units set up here of what I have. So these two, I have their close assault numbers, and I have also the anti-armor factors. Now, the opposing side, the British, would be saying to themselves, I'm going to split up my units. I'm going to do some of them for anti-armor, and the other one, I don't think they, hold on, let me see if they can fire anti-armor before I say that. Because they have an armor protection value.
seeing it. Let me check another spot. Nope. Okay, so they're just gonna go in for close assault. Anyway, I forgot, if you're pinned, you can only do close assault. You cannot do, I believe, armor or barrage anyway. But they don't have the ability to do anti-armor, so 8, 6, 24, but did we lose anyone? No. Okay. So they have 24. So let's do this. So 24 gets rounded down to a 2 because you divide it by 10. So they have a close assault of 2. Miletti's side has a close assault of 35 divided by 2, by 10, which is 3.5, rounded up to a 4. So we have a 4. And we expend, by the way, 5 CP for combat. And the other side expends 3. All right, so that's where we're sitting. So let's do the combat factors. So before we do any of this stuff, let's first start with my armor. They can't fire back, but they're gonna fire at them. I said we had 5 TOE firing. Their firepower is going to be a 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Divide that by 10 is a 1. So we have a 1 firepower, which is pretty crappy. So 1 firepower, and we roll the dice and see what kind of damage we will do. 22 on a 1 is a miss. So nothing happens, they fire their guns and they miss. Now we have close assault. Close assault comes in. Let's see what it's gonna be. We are a +2. We're a +2 on the sheet. Let's go over the modifiers. First thing is we check for cohesion, hits, and morale. So I'm gonna roll for Miletti first. 62, they pass. 52, they pass, and 11 Haas. 65, their morale might get hit. Let's see. I believe their morale gets hit. You know why? Their morale is going to take a hit because of last op stage. They were here. They reacted and fell back here. When you react, you take a -3 cohesion hit. So they have a -3 cohesion hit. To get rid of it, you don't move during your op stage. However, if you spend any movement points at all throughout that op stage, meaning for your opponent and yours, you can't recover. You basically have to be still on your opponent's turn and your upstage turn. So they expended CP to get back here. So even though they didn't move their turn, their upstage, they couldn't recover. So right now they're sitting at a -3 cohesion. So he rolled a 65. And so I'll show you the table I'm looking at so you understand what I'm doing. So what we do is we have a morale adjustment. This is a level of disorganization. That's when you have your cohesion hits against you. You start at 0. They're now at a -3. If you go across, they roll a 65. Their morale is going to drop by 2. And that's what that means. As you can see, if your cohesion starts taking hits, it's very brutal to you. So Miletti's morale is a -2. So they're a -2. The 7th, they're part of the 7th, they're a +2. So they go down to a 0 because of that cohesion adjustment. But still, these guys are -2, so they're going to get 2 shifts back in their favor. So we're back to 0 on the morale. Okay, terrain, there's no terrain shifts for the defender. Next up is we check for the raw firepower. They had a 35 raw firepower. They had 24. So 35 is not double of 24. So nothing happens there. However, they're a division against a battalion. And I believe that's going to be... And that battalion is that's going to be 4 shifts right here in their favor. So we go back up to a +4 for the Miletti. So let's look at the combat table. And we'll see where we are. They're going to be at a +4. So this is where we are. So we're going to roll for first is going to be the attacker's numbers, and then we're going to roll for defender. And we're using our special SPI dice. 21, not good for the attacker. So 21, the attacker is going to take 10% loss. Okay. So let me write that down, 10% for the attacker. That was terrible. But 35 for the defender and a +4. Oh, by the way, we rolled 21, I said. So nothing happens anyway, but 35. That's 10%. Is that a typo? That's a typo. That should be 34. Anyway, it's on this column. It's 10%. So they also lose 10%. 35, you add those two numbers together, is an 8. What does that give us? Nothing. So I was trying to see if they had a retreat. So nothing happens there, but we each have to lose 10%. And so they were 24, 10% of 24 is going to be 2.4. So that's going to be 2. They have to consume 2. we are 35 times 10%, which is 3.5 rounded up. So we have to consume 4 and they have to consume 2. So the way it works, we'll start with the Commonwealth. And we have to lose, by the way, half our guns. So we have to, not half our guns, but we have to satisfy 2 for the guns, and I'll show you how that's done. They would have had to do the same, but they have no guns with them. Okay, so I'll show you how we can take losses for on the Commonwealth. So that unit is this unit here. It has a 45 CPA allowance. It's got a 1 armor protection value. It has a 2 for attacking and a 3 for defending, and it has 8 TOE in that battalion. We lost 2, so they have to consume 2, so they're going to lose 1 TOE. If this was a 1, let's just say that was a 1 instead of a 3, they would have had to take 2 TOE losses to satisfy that number 2. But since it's a 3, they just have to lose 1 to satisfy it. So we're going to lose 1 for the 11 Haas, and I'll make a note of that. 11 Haas takes 1 TOE loss. All right, so they're satisfied, they're done. Now let's go over to Mileti. So Mileti is actually going to take oh no, yeah, because they left them behind, so that doesn't count. So their W's, they're all 5s TOE, but they're 1s. And so this is going to be not good, and I'll explain to you. So Mileti has weak units, as you can see here. They are 1s. So they have to consume or satisfy a 4. That means they have to lose 4 TOE to satisfy that. So they lost 400 troops in that battle. And they have to satisfy 2 for the guns. So these were the guns in forward position. 75-18, 75-27. So let's look at their vulnerability number. All right, 75. So there's a 75-18 howitzer. Their vulnerability number is a 5. So I can lose 1 TOE of this, or I can lose 1 TOE of the 75-27 gun. So it's one or the other, but either or would satisfy that 2. So not a good fight. So again, they're gonna lose 1, which I noted. Back you up. They're gonna lose 4. So I'll evenly space them. I'll take 2 from here and 2 from here, TOE. And then they're gonna lose 1 gun. And that battle will be done. And then we can do a continual battle again. So let me just mark this down first. Let me get these notes in. and then I'll come back to continuing movement. So Mileti, two infantry TOE, one 75-27 gun loss. And the other one is a 5 Libyan regiment. Two infantry TOE loss. And that is 5 Lib. Close assault. Close assault. Anti-armor. 5 M11 39. Okay. All right. So combat is done. I'm just thinking about what I need to do. So let's pull these away. This is out. We noted everything. Okay, this is let me see something for a minute. I want to make sure I didn't go over. That's the breakdown. So 8 and 6 is 14. However, they're in trucks, so we're good. So we're not going to attack again because our guns will take a cohesion hit. So we'll stay here. Well, the way it's going to work out is, let's see these guys. Just want to take a look. Okay. So anyone within 2 hexes of an enemy unit or in reserve, with a reserve marker placed on them, can now move again and do combat again. So I think I'm gonna move these units. I gotta just check to see their CP. Let's see, because I know these guys are walking. They're already at 10. If I go here, I can't fight because I have to expend 5 CP to fight. So it's going to be a waste of time. How about these guys? Let's break down. Okay. So I can bring up the 63rd because they only expended 4 CP already. They expended 4 CP. I'll go in here. That would be 6 CP. And then 5 CP to fight, which brings us to 11. So they'll have a 1 cohesion hit against them. So let's do that. Let's bring them up. So that would be 2, which brings it to 6 CP expended, right? Their breakdown goes from 8 to a 12 because it costs 4 breakdown points to get into this hex. Let me fix that. Let's see if it went to the next column. I don't believe it did, because if it did, I have to roll for breakdown again. Just double check that. I hope not. I really don't want to roll again. Yes. They got to roll again. And let's see. The 63rd. Who are we rolling for again? Ugh, the CV33s are terrible. They get 2 shifts to the right. By the time I get to these guys, they're going to be all broken down. Okay. So, keep you guys informed. Last time they had a breakdown of 8, so they were on this column, but they had to move over 2 columns over because of the CV33s are terrible. Now we have a breakdown in this, between this column. So I gotta roll over 2 columns over from here. 1, 2, so 1 to 31 to 40. And I gotta see what this is. Oh, let's roll and see what the damage is gonna be. $51, not good. That is not gonna be good. What did I say? 1, 2. Oh, okay, 10%. So 10%. What do we have left? We had 8. 10% is gonna be 1. So we're gonna lose another CV. So let me update that to now 2. Hold on, guys. Let me just put this back here because we lost that truck there. 63 CIR 1TO CV 33 breakdown number 7. I need to note what this truck represents. Okay. So they're breaking down in the desert. How about the second Libyan? What are they at? All right, so they're at 8. But these guys, I believe, are leg, and they have a machine gun. Oh, let me not forget, 63 takes a cohesion hit. I'm having, excuse me, I'm having counters made. So I have counters made for cohesion. I'm gonna have counters made for breakdown, movement, all that stuff. Different colors. I'm also trying to get other counters of these 5 or 6 sets, and then maybe have a number system where I can just have second Libya on a number which represents certain things, and I can just go, I can have these counters on the map and then their replica, their copies on these number grids. So I'm trying to figure that out. So waiting for the person to get back. So I'll be purchasing, like I said, I think 5 sets, maybe 6 sets. And then another buddy of mine will be producing me, I believe it's 11 counter sheets or 12. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so getting back to this. Let me see what they have. Second Libya. All right, they're all walking. I'm all walking plus everything, so I have to wait there. So we'll hold off and we'll just attack with these guys. Now,
excuse me, they can react. These guys cannot react because they're not motorized. These guys can react and move. These guys can react and move away, and same with them. And they can leave this guy stranded. Would they do that? I think they'll be better if they stay and fight. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stay and fight. We're not gonna move. Yeah. All right, we'll stay and fight. So first thing we're gonna do, expend. And they're gonna expend CP to fight. Now, forward or back, we're gonna bring our guns forward. They'll have their guns forward. And so what happens is by having your guns forward, they can also be used in close assault or in anti-armor fire. So we're gonna have these guys forward and these guys forward. So we're gonna be firing on infantry. They're gonna be firing on infantry as well. Let's get our notes. Let's see what we can do. All right, I'll start with Commonwealth. Commonwealth 4 and 7. This might be an anti-armor, but let me just double check that. 7, because I know there was errata for that. And how do they say 4RHA? Nope, it's 1825. No, they are, wow. There are 8 for their firepower on barrage. And they can do anti-armor. Okay, so there are 8. And there's 6 of them, so that's 48 points. And then we have the 7th medium artillery. Let's see what they are. 7th medium artillery. They're the 60 pounders, 6 of them. 60 pounders. Wow. There are 12 firepower. So 12 times 6 is 72. So 72. Yeah. So 120. So you have 120 raw firepower. Divide that by 10. They're coming down with 12 barrage. That's pretty heavy. All right. 63rd. Let's see what they're going to come in with. 75, 18 guns. So the 75-18, so they have 6 and 6 guns, so they have 36 firepower. And howitzers, the 117s. 107, so that's 8, so bring 24. That's 10. So they're bringing in 60, where is it? 60 raw firepower, which is going to be 6. The terrain, I don't think there's anything against the terrain. What is this? Nope. All right, so they'll fire their 12, they'll fire their 6. So let's start with the Commonwealth firing first. Oof, 13. That's not good. That's crappy. 13, it's a miss. Wow. They lucked out, the Italians. Now the Italians are going to fire back. 36.
And they also missed. They could have done real major damage to them, but they missed. All right, so both sides miss. So that is done. Now we get into armor and then close assault. So again, like I said, they're firing in the hex, not at a person. The 63rd. What do we have left? Let's see. 1, 2. So we have 7 CV33s. I think so we're going to send our 7 CV33s to close assault. We're not going to do anti-armor. So we'll do close assault. I'm talking about the 60-30 Italians. And they will allow, which they're actually pretty crappy. So that's 7 times 1 equals 7 firepower. Wow. They're pretty much useless. These CB33s are pretty much useless. And then what are we going to do with the manpower? Their use, let's see. What else do we have? Trying to see what we're going to bring to bear. Alright, so the 7s. So 21 plus 21 equals 42. And then we have those A's. And they are nothing. 5. Okay, we're gonna have 7 equals 54. They're gonna come in with the 3rd guard defending. Six times 2 is 12. So they have a 12 raw firepower. These guys don't really have anything, and then these guys here would fire. I think these guys will fire at the tanks. '60s. No, we'll have the 1825s fire at the tanks. And that would be 12 for AT. All right, we're done. So the way it's going to work is we're bringing in nothing for AT. They're going to fire because we do have those CV33s. They have armor protection value, so anything that has an armor protection value can be hit.
I could have held them back and not gone into close assault, and then they couldn't hit them. However, since I'm bringing those CV-33s to close assault, they have a chance to be hit. So we're going to fire at them. We have a 12 raw firepower. Divide that by 10, it's going to be a 1. So we have a 1 going in to see if we can hit. Let's see how that plays out. Go to the sheet. I don't even have to look. It's a miss. 1-1. So they missed with the anti-armor. Now we're going with close assault. So I said they have a 12, which becomes a 1. So let me just put this down for them so we don't forget. So they have a 1. They have a 54, which becomes a 5. So this is where we are. So it's going to be a +4 right now for the Italians. Now we go to cohesion. The cohesion for the 63rd is at 0. 54, nothing happens. The other guys are at a 0. 61, nothing happens. Let's see now, we have to figure out what their morale is compared to the 63rd. The 63rd I know is crappy. The 63rd is a -1 for morale. And then these guys, we have to average them out. So let's start with this unit. The 3rd guard is a +1. These guys is a +1. It looks like they're all plus, so this is a 1. So this is a -1, so this is a 1, so it's gonna get a 2 shifts back. So it's a +2, goes back. Now we check for size. Well, terrain. Terrain is nothing, so there's no shifts for terrain. Now we check for the size. Not the size, the firepower. I said they were a 12. They're a 54 raw firepower, so they're double their firepower. So this goes back up 2 shifts, so they're back to a +4. Now, the biggest unit in here, you don't count this guy, it's going to be a battalion against a division. That's another +4 shifts, so we're at +8. So let's go to the combat table. And let's look at what we have. Oh, I'm getting hungry. So we're here. We go up +8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're now on the overrun column. Move this over. And what that means is everything gets added in that was even sitting back as their losses. So I'm going to roll first for the Italians because they're attackers. They rolled a 64, and that's going to be nothing. They don't lose anything. It's a 0. And now $31. Doesn't seem like it's going to be good. So 31, because we're on the 11, 12, and 13 column.
And that puts them at 25 losses. Oh, 25% I meant, I should say. 25%. And so what I have to do now is add up everybody's closest salt value that's in that hex, and then take 25% off of that, of that. And that's how many losses they're gonna take. Plus, then you have that number, and that's how many guns they're gonna lose. So it's gonna be pretty brutal. I'm not gonna do this now. I'm just making a note what's gonna happen. And again, we roll a 31, but you add those together, it becomes a 4. And a 4 is they have to retreat 1 hex. So when they retreat 1 hex, they expend CP to do so. So you expend CP, fuel, and all that good stuff that goes along with it. Nothing's free. You don't magically move units around in like other games where it's not considered movement, but yet you're displacing somebody from 1 hex to another 5 miles away. Yeah, so this is what's gonna happen. There's an air base there, so I gotta read up about that, because I think, no, there's no planes, so they're gonna lose that air base, or we take possession of it actually. But we have to wait I'm not sure if it's 1 game turn or 1 op stage. So we retreated 1 hex, right? We gotta use this. That costs 2 CPs to move there, because clear terrain costs 2. So what they spent is 2 for movement and 3 for combat. This goes away. We knocked them out of the hex, so we gain a +3 cohesion to everybody. So let me make a note of that. 63rd Division gains 3 cohesion. So that's the good thing, is that when you win big battles, you knock them out of the hex, your cohesion goes up. And the max you can go up is +10. The most you can lose, I believe, is -26. So for us to now take this hex, by the way, I wanted to see something. Oh, we weren't engaged. So now this is going to cost us 2, so that becomes an 8 plus the 5 for combat. The 12 becomes 16. And I have to check to see if I have to roll for breakdown. So I'm going to make a note of that. Because I checked for before, but if I jump the column over, I'm going to have to check for breakdown again. So that's another thing. If you advance, you pay CP, but you also can break down as well. These guys as well have to fix their breakdown points. Their breakdown points would be 4. So they're going to be good with breakdown points. However, I still need to put it there. That's for breakdown, that's for movement, that's for combat. Let's leave this on top. I mean on the bottom. Okay, there's a couple of things I have to check out. However, I'm not going to do combat anymore. They're in contact. So this is in contact. It would have been great if we would have been engaged, because for them to leave the hex, it would cost them 4 to get away. Right now it's going to cost them 2 to get away, then the terrain. So to break away, it's going to cost 2, terrain, and all this other stuff. So we're in a good position. And we have units broken down here. Yeah. I think that is it, but this is how it's playing out. It's nice. You know, you can see the map coming together. Gonna take this division and go up this way, maybe try to get behind the third guards, whatever they're called, cold guards. Yeah. All right, guys, I'll post this up. I'm kind of hungry, and I'll talk to you guys later.